Greetings everyone, welcome to another video. We're going to continue on with what I talked about in the last video with the handlock decks. This is a deck today that I built myself based on the idea of the other decks I'd looked at. I haven't really played around with it yet, so I don't know if it's completely horrible or if it's any good. So we're going to play a couple rounds and see whether we fail horribly. It's a very similar deck to the other handlock deck that I showed in the last video. It's pretty close, but I made a few swap outs for some personal flair, if you will. It's probably not as good as the other deck, but I feel kind of yucky relying on someone else's deck, even though they probably win more often than mine. So toss Leroy, Siphon Soul, and Defender of Argus in favor of these guys. That's a perfect opening hand, actually.
I don't have enough mana.
So that puts us at 7, 8 cards.
Get in there and fight, maggot!
Puts us at 9. Now, since we have the coin, our hand size is a little thrown off. So what we're going to do, I think, is actually coin, Twilight Drake, and get rid of this. Sucks to lose the giant, but it should be better this way, I think. Now, we won't be able to play the mountain giant for a couple turns, but that should be okay, I think. I think I'll probably Sun Fury Protector the Twilight Drake, or maybe play a second Twilight Drake and then Sun Fury Protector. And honestly, in my opinion, that was a trade for the Drake. I mean, we got rid of 3 of their cards. You can't really complain with that. We play another Drake, slightly less powerful this time. But it should still work out fairly well for us, I think.
I hope you like my invention.
And next turn we can mountain giant as long as we're not dead.
What you looking at?
Okay, so toss the mountain giant.
If you're sure.
Do the 1 damage. and call it a day. Now, worst case scenario, we can Leroy and Mortal Coil and take the Boulder Fist out. If he decides to just take it to the face and try to take us out with the Boulder Fist, which would probably be a good move. Or he could do that. Seems feasible. So in this case, get some taunt up. Should give us some survivability.
They'll never know what it is.
Let the pain speak to me.
Okay, so our best move, I think, is to do Summoning Portal. Followed by that Mortal Coil. Super cheap Molten Giant.
Done.
And that's quite a bit for him to have to deal with. So I added in the Summoning Portal to add in little things like that. Just add in a little bit more mana efficiency for some of the big creatures that get lowered down. And hopefully, in theory, let me get more cards out in a single burst so I keep my momentum in the later stages of the game. And I think, yeah, we have lethal this turn, except for the taunts. The taunts kind of screw us up just a little bit. Okay, so how can we get rid of the taunts and still do this?
So many possibilities.
So I think 18. Well, I think if we sacrifice our giant, like this, to give him taunt, Leroy, overwhelming. And hopefully be able to do 5 damage in the next turn. I think the chances of that are good. It's risky to try to get lethal before you actually have lethal, but I think doing it while I had the minions on the board was a good idea.
Squire, attend me.
Ready, sir.
Especially if that was his only card. We should have this in theory. Unless I'm missing something, of course. Yep. And that's all she wrote. So, yeah, seems to at least hold up a little bit. Definitely feels a little better playing as a deck that I built myself, since I'm more familiar with the cards. Familiarity with your cards is very important in most decks, I feel. Hopefully we can get a few wins in this video. I don't think I'll do very many. Maybe this round and one more. That seems to be a typical safe bet depending on how long the matches go.
Your soul shall be mine.
Okay. Ditch those in favor of a mountain giant. Another card I added in was Lord Draxus because it can bump you back up to 15 health if you are close to death.
The light protects me.
Which, given that you take a lot of damage in the beginning, it definitely is not a terrible idea to try to have a backup plan, if you will. Also added in a cold light to get my hand size back up in the later stages if I need to get something bigger after my initial hand size has been weighed down. And I think give myself 2 to pay for the card draw. Math should work out. And then next turn I get a beefy Twilight Drake. Now he's probably got some silence. Druids typically always have some silence up their sleeve with their dual-natured cards. But nonetheless, I think it'll be okay. So, summoning portal.
I don't have enough mana.
And then miscalculate.
Let the
Acolyte of Pain.
you like my
Novice
invention.
engineer. Do a little damage.
Job done.
Where shall I strike?
So, I think we taunt.
So many
Cold
possibilities.
Light gets in cards. Twilight Drake. Oh, that is a bummer.
Bring the pain.
Job done.
Oh, well, you win some, you lose some. Not to say I think we've lost,
The light
but
protects
Lord
me.
Juraxis was a heavy price to pay for the Soulfire. Okay, so let's see here. I think everything to get him back up. Kill that. And then as long as he doesn't have a taunt next turn, we can double Power Overwhelming and Leroy Jenkins.
Where
And possibly
shall I
face
strike?
this one. Of course, he's got the taunt.
My shield for Argus!
So many possibilities.
I think this.
Job done.
I think that's the best move.
Pay attention, class.
I think
Time's up.
of course I forgot his armor,
Into the
Which-
breach.
is definitely a miscalculation. Or not. play. And that's how it's done. 2 in a row. That feels pretty good. Let's see if we can get one more for the end. So yeah, the handlock strategy is pretty cool. I'm digging it. Because you go from terribly losing to just winning in a single turn.
I will fight with honor.
Your soul shall be mine.
Okay, so let's ditch the Siphon and the Acolyte. Keep the Twilight because they're awesome. Perfect. And the Earthen Ring so we can heal up afterwards. I'm pretty excited about that. Seems good. See how the Paladin plays. And some early taunt. Double early taunt. That is fantastic. Got everything I could hope for. As long as he doesn't have anything nasty.
Let me think.
Now, it's always by this point that I'm sure they start to wonder if I'm a handlock. From this day forward, I will always be afraid whenever a warlock doesn't play any cards.
Reporting for duty.
It's a dangerous position to be in. And there's our power overwhelming and a second Drake. Next turn we will have our Mountain Giant. Willing to take that damage. That damage tastes delicious.
Tazdingo! Yeah.
Yeah, bring up the taunt. So, Twilight Drake this turn. Kill the taunt. For sure. No big deal. Cool, 3 health. It's all about value. Giant has done work for us. Yep, it's cool. Quite alright with that. Especially because next turn we get our second Drake and we taunt them.
Shields up!
I'm gonna kill that guy. It's all good. Double taunted Drakes. They've got a silence, that's a problem, but otherwise, I'm good.
You call that a
Oh, the coin. What's he got?
We must cleanse the Sunwell.
+1, +1. That is cool. I'm okay with that. Summoning portal. Earthen Ring.
I got this.
Do I want an Earthen Ring again? May as well.
eyes are open.
Next turn we do some damage. We want to keep our minions above the 2 health mark because
My
of
shield
the
for
scariness that is consecration. Divine Shield on that is an interesting choice. Okay,
I
let's
hope you like
draw.
my invention.
Mountain Giant. Cool.
Of course. Of course.
For sure. And remember, at this point, all we have to do is get him to 20. There's the consecration. I can't say that word, apparently. That's fine. That means you're dead. Leave at 20. Them's the rules.
Time's up. Let's do this. Time's up. Let's do this.
And that's the way that goes. And that is the awesomeness that is the handlock. Utterly fantastic. So, yeah. If anyone is curious, I can show you the deck. I don't know if anyone cares. So I called this the deck that's feeling handy. So, same as the last deck for the most part. We got the Soulfires and the Mortal Coils and the Power Overwhelming. I swapped out a few of the smaller minions for the Voodoo Doctor to give some health, the Engineer for some card draw. Acolyte of Pain I think I had in there. I swapped in the Cold Light for some additional card draw, so I can always get my hand back up high. And then of course the Lord Jaraxxus, which is just an awesome legendary because it replaces your hero, gives you a 3 damage weapon, a cool hero power, and the 15 health. So if you're down at 5 health or you're feeling close to death in general, you can bump yourself back up and give yourself a 3 damage attack. It's also got a cool hero power. It summons giant rocky things, which is awesome. Yeah, that's pretty much it. I hope you guys had fun. I will try to do more videos very soon with the handlock deck, see if we can keep our winning streak up and get down a little lower in the ranks. Thank you for tuning in, and please subscribe. Wink, wink.